Even though The Voice Battle of Champions only has 3 coaches, you could easily imagine Blake Shelton in the 4th red chair, given how frequently John Legend, Adam Levine, and Kelly Clarkson discuss him. Shelton became the de facto guy for the majority of country artists after leaving The Voice after working as a coach for the first 23 seasons of the program. In addition, he won more awards than any other coach in The Voice's history, so it's clear why his legacy is so significant. According to Levine, one of the biggest benefits for artists thinking about joining Team Adam is having access to Shelton. Levine knew he would have to work hard to convince J.W. Griffin, a 25-year-old from Moultrie, Georgia, to pick him over Clarkson, the season's most countryest coach, after Griffin wowed the coaches with his rendition of Long-Haired Country Boy by the Charlie Daniels Band. So he pulled out the big guns, as it were. Levine said to the singer, "If you choose me, you're going to have a co-coach in Blake Shelton, 'cause he's gonna love you. I'm gonna pester him on a daily basis." Levine recalled the friendship between Shelton and Griffin, saying, "We became super tight, we came from different places, and that was explosive." Levine continued to leverage his close relationship with Shelton to pressure Griffin about his potential on Team Adam. "That's how you interpret your rivalry with Blake Shelton?" Legend shrewdly retorted to Levine's description of his, let's face it, long-standing animosity with Shelton. "That's intriguing." Currently residing in Tennessee, Griffin drives a truck to deliver loaves to supermarkets as a bread delivery driver. He said, rather appropriately, "Delivering the dough is a good way to make some." He did acknowledge, though, that his passion isn't delivering bread, it's making music. In addition, he describes his fondness for older country because it has such a distinct sound. He also plays the guitar. All 3 coaches wanted Griffin for their teams, making him one of the fortunate winners of the triple turn competition. Levine realized right away that Clarkson would win the artist. Levine said, "You have one of my favorite voices. This is going to be so heartbreaking when I don't win." "My heart is already broken," she remarked. Clarkson told the singer not to pay attention to Levine's reverse psychology, acknowledging that in the absence of Shelton, she could only get Griffin. "You are such a great storyteller," she laughed, telling Griffin, "and I'm really so happy Blake Shelton isn't here right now." Before entering the stage, Griffin reflected, "They're all pretty iconic, but there aren't any country coaches this season." However, as expected, Griffin chose Team Kelly without Shelton's support. One dynamic typically comes up first when discussing The Voice's heyday: Adam Levine and Blake Shelton's ferocious, humorous, and occasionally downright combustible competition. Like a sitcom, it wasn't scripted. It wasn't set out like a wrestling advertisement. It was untidy, competitive, natural, and sometimes exaggerated. And Adam Levine discovered something significant over time. Blake Shelton's explosive past wasn't a liability. Leverage was used. He made excellent use of it. The start of a rivalry: CeeLo Green, Christina Aguilera, Blake Shelton, and Adam Levine were among the inaugural coaches of The Voice when it debuted in 2011. Adam and Blake couldn't have been more dissimilar from the beginning. Adam, the lead singer of Maroon 5, was the epitome of sleek pop-rock sophistication. Blake's thick southern drawl and mischievous spirit made him the epitome of rural charm. Their musical tastes were at odds. They had different personalities. They even disagreed on fashion, and chemistry resulted from that confrontation. What began as light-hearted mocking during the early blind auditions swiftly turned into a verbal duel. Blake's country cliches would be ridiculed by Adam. Adam's Hollywood feel would be pointed out by Blake. They kept interrupting one another. Their responses were inflated. They gave a dramatic roll of their eyes. However, beneath it all was respect for one another. Adam was well aware of how to use that tension into a weapon. Using competition to develop strategy, The Voice's framework offered coaches a single primary goal: assemble the best squad possible. This required persuading competitors to select them while many chairs turned. Adam quickly saw that his rivalry with Blake could be used to his advantage. Blake appeared to be the obvious pick till a candidate with a country flair took the stage and both chairs turned. Adam, however, did not retreat in silence. He leaned into the feud instead. He would publicly challenge Blake. He would make jokes about Blake's history. He would present himself as the audacious substitute. At times, he even theatrically personalized it. Adam would smile and remark, "You're choosing safe if you choose Blake." He would then turn to the competitor and present himself as the bigger artistic development, the evolution and the risk. It was clever. Rather than engage in courteous competition, he produced theater. Drama also adds emotion and difficulty to decision-making. Playing the underdog card, Blake Shelton's winning seasons soon made him famous. There was no denying his success with country musicians. This gave rise to a story. Blake is a winner. Adam turned the story on its head. Adam would respond by portraying Blake as predictable whenever he boasted about his victories. Adam would suggest that he only wins with country. Do you want to be something different or just another nation's victor? Adam deftly reframed Blake's strengths as constraints by emphasizing them. It was a game of psychological chess. Frequently, contestants did not select a coach only on the basis of genre. They made their selections based on their energy, personalities, and the people they thought understood them. Adam appeared courageous because he was prepared to take Blake on head-on. Artists who wished to defy convention were drawn to that audacity. The brand-building banter, their rivalry, eventually turned into one of the main selling aspects of the program. In addition to the auditions, many watched for the impending Adam versus Blake battle. Promoters emphasized their points. Videos of their conversations became popular on social media. Their friendship and competitive fire were frequently mentioned in interviews conducted outside of the show. Adam knew it was important to be visible. He was not only defending a competitor each time he got into a heated argument with Blake. On the show, he was reaffirming who he was. The competitor with the sharp tongue was him. The fashionable contrarian. The coach who refused to give Blake the final say. And viewers become more devoted as a result of that regularity. Moments of explosion that favored him occasionally, their rivalry seemed quite intense. Raised voices and genuine annoyance, not simply light-hearted taunting. Their interactions felt genuine because of their unpredictable nature. Adam inspired his troops with those ferocious beats. He frequently made a competitor feel wanted when he and Blake disagreed about them. Genuinely desired. It's gratifying to be at the center of a heated coach battle. It conveys value. Adam gave in to the emotional pull. "Look how hard I'm fighting for you," he would say. Conflict became a compliment as a result. Adam still benefited even after Blake won the contestant. Spend time on screens. Focus of the audience. Strengthen persona. Perception is just as important in a competition show as performance. Using comedy as a weapon, Blake's lightheartedness frequently lacked the cutting edge of Adam Levine's humor. He maintained a straight expression while delivering snarky one-liners. He made fun of Blake's rustic persona. In a light-hearted manner, he made fun of Blake's brilliance, style, and even love problems. Blake gave a similar response. Adam, however, often led the story. He would cut Blake off in the middle of his sentence. He would give a dramatic roll of his eyes. During Blake's pitch, he would act as though he was going to sleep. These performances weren't arbitrary. They served as calculated diversions. Adam broke any momentum Blake was building in a pitch. Adam cast doubt on Blake's apparent assurance that he would be selected as a contender. Adam had an advantage since he could make the room unstable. Development through conflict. It's interesting to see that the competition did more than help Adam win contestants. It aided in his development as a coach. Adam had to improve his own approach because he was going up against Blake directly. He improved his ability to express his creative vision. He improved his mentoring style. Stronger arguments on adaptability and crossover appeal were developed by him. He was pushed by Blake. Adam might have relied solely on charisma in the absence of that dramatic past. But more was required by the rivalry. It needed evidence. Additionally, Adam used his musicians' impressive performances as a means of gently reminding Blake that pop had influence as well. As soon as the dynamic changed, seasons went by, and their rivalry developed. It evolved into a protracted brotherly rivalry rather than a simple conflict. The audience realized that friendship existed behind the scenes. However, that did not lessen its strength. Indeed, it made it stronger. Adam felt more at ease, pushing the joke's boundaries the more viewers trusted their relationship. He could be very irritable. He may pretend to be furious. When a competitor selected Blake, he may pretend to be betrayed.